We also have, of course, Joe hanging in somewhere. Good morning, Joe. There's so much more of these conversations happening on a Friday morning. I'm going to, of course, hand over to you to take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Olajade, right there. Great points raised. Kind of like makes a lot of us think what the way forward will be. But since we're still talking business and finance, let me also let you in that through the past few decades, the healthcare sector in Nigeria and Africa has experienced continuous disruptions. Now, with the drawbacks from traditional practices to the emergence of new technologies all around the world, more organizations are beginning to drive their support for the industry through investments. Now, you will agree with me that there is an urgent need for intervention and growth in Africa and Nigeria's healthcare system, especially with the Internet of Things, integration of technology and healthcare systems in Africa. Well, today on Breakfast Product Review, we'll be taking a look at an organization like FSDH Merchant Bank, who continue to lend their voice to drive remarkable change and innovation in the medical sector. Well, joining me on this side of the studio is Dr. Oluwafemi Olaleye. He's the head healthcare business FSDH. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so let's take a look at the health sector. We seem to have a lot of challenges, especially in Africa. But I'm going to ask you, first of all, what remarkable product has your organization been able to put out that you think will indeed change the status quo or will make the healthcare much more better?
Okay, first of all, FSDH actually is First Security Discounting House Merchant Bank. And what we've done is that we've put out a product that allows owners of hospitals, diagnosis centers, and pharmacies to be able to finance the purchase of equipment, get funding for working capital needs if they want to expand and things like that. We understand the space, we understand the unique challenges that companies in that space face. Being a doctor myself, I can relate with other, medical doctors and health professionals, knowing that they have unique needs and the language that, that they speak. So we've designed our product to actually meet those needs so that they can actually grow, their businesses and offer quality services, because there's a lot of deficit as regards equipment and funding in the healthcare sector, and we're trying to actually bridge that gap. Yeah.
Quite interesting. But let me also ask you now, according to World Health Organization, let me read this out. It says, healthcare in most sub-Saharan Africa remains the worst in the world, despite foreign assistance. Now, how does this innovation plan to make it better?
Okay, the challenge majorly in the sub-Saharan region of Africa is actually funding, basically, if you're going to be honest about it. Funding is a major issue. Now, we have a second issue, which is personnel, because of the qualified medical practitioners living in the country. But in majorly funding, most governments are not able to actually provide enough funding to equip public hospitals and make sure that there is a suitable environment for healthcare to thrive. Now, what we're doing is that we understand the place of the private sector and the banks to actually bring in extra funding into the system. The government cannot do everything, that's the truth. So previously banks were actually averse to lending to the healthcare sector because they viewed it as a very, very risky venture. But we have found a way to be able to do it. And I must say that we've started and we're actually doing well, actually funding that space. We recently had a healthcare conference last week where we had the major players in the space, and we spoke to them, making sure they understood what we had to offer. And a lot of them were already even partners with us already. And I think that with what we're doing, we'll be able to change that narrative in a few years.
Well, take us through this strategy of financing the healthcare sector in Nigeria, in Africa. Most importantly, this product, does it come with, is there going to be an app? What are the processes that people need to go through in order for this to actually work?
Okay, so the strategy is very simple. We have products that serve different needs. You have working capital needs, you have import financing needs, and you have, lease financing, which is purchasing of equipment. So it depends on what the need of the client is. Then we are able to direct them to the appropriate product. Now, about apps and all, right now, you cannot, access our products via, apps, but you can actually reach us by, via various channels on FSDH Merchant Bank, and we can, quickly respond to you to book a meeting and interview you and find out what your actual needs are. Now, we're a merchant bank, which means that we don't play in the retail space. We are actually geared towards corporate entities, corporate organizations, small to medium-sized SMEs, and seeing how we can actually, be of service to them. Commercial banks usually are able to take care of retail, individuals, but we actually focus majorly on, businesses. So they can reach us, and we can find what is suitable for your business that will actually help you, grow your revenue in a year, 2 years, and all. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, when it's a rollout date, I mean, you said already it has been launched, there was a meeting and so on and so forth. And having taken a look at the rollout date, what should the public expect? I like the fact that doctors are involved now.
Yeah.
So what did it take for you to involve doctors and to ensure that you're a doctor yourself, by the way?
Yeah.
I was thinking it's a doctor of, from the degree. And
no, medical doctor.
A medical doctor. Okay, so I seem to have a cough. What do I take? Anyway, tell us, how do you plan to bring everyone together in the economy? I mean, it's a social economy where you have to bring the general public, the doctors, of course, the hospitals. How do you plan to manage all of this in this product?
Okay, so one of the things we find is that a lot of our medical doctors, many of my colleagues actually have a gap, a knowledge gap. We are very versed in medicine and treatment plans and all of that, but when it comes to running a business and financial knowledge that is necessary, a lot of us lack it. So one of the things that we do in FSDH is that we offer advisory. We ensure that we leave our clients more knowledgeable than we met them, so that they are well informed about the decisions that they are supposed to be making as regards their business. Because you cannot run your hospital as a shop and expect to get the kind of revenue and results that running it as a business will bring you. There is the business of medicine, then there's the practice of medicine. We're trying to ensure that we are able to get our medical colleagues up to date on the business side of things to be able to be more efficient and more productive.
I like that. Practice of medicine, business of medicine. I like the way you differentiated that. But we seem to have a big deficit.
Yeah.
Take a look at the example of dialysis. You're someone who's having a kidney problem, goes to different hospitals and they say, oh, sorry, our machines are not working.
Okay.
You go to another hospital and say, oh, sorry, we do have the machines, but we don't have someone to operate it. This particular product, will it be able to put an end to this type of stories?
Well, we cannot solve for every problem. There are certain problems that fit in the macroeconomy of things, all right? But there are a few wonderful examples of well-run practices, like, for example, you mentioned dialysis. We have actually well-run dialysis centers that do not have those kind of issues. It all falls back to running a proper business. If you run your proper business, you won't have an issue of your dialysis machine breaking down, because you would have the right partnership with the manufacturers, the OEMs, who come in for regular servicing. And if you run a business that is well run and efficient, you probably be able to pay your doctors well, so you don't have manpower shortage. So all those things tie into the business of medicine. A well and efficiently run business would be a mitigant to certain socioeconomic and macroeconomic factors. Now, there's the issue of cost, because if you run your business well, you run it efficiently, the price points may be a bit, out of the range of the common man. That's where the macroeconomy of it comes into place, where we now start talking about insurance and things like that. All that the government will do, and private sector also can play the role in fixing that too. Yeah.
All right. Lastly, with this product, and I'm more interested in health. I mean, everyone should be interested in health, because life is very precious.
Yeah.
Let's look at your partnerships. Are you looking to partner with the government, the parastatals, you name them, and so on and so forth? And if you're looking to do that, my last question in addition to that would also be, how will this reduce the brain drain syndrome that we're starting to see at an extremely high numbers of doctors who have left this country? I'm shocked that you're still here. I mean, kudos.
Yeah, because my thinking is different. I want to try to help make sure Nigeria is better.
Right.
So, in response to your first question about partnerships, yes, we have partnerships with the Lagos State government. We're actually doing some things with them. We had the Honorable Commissioner of Health with us last week at our conference, and we are looking to scale that, PPP arrangements and all that. Then we also have partnership with different players in the healthcare sector, because we also have a digitization product where we are actually looking to drive efficiency in hospitals, pharmacies, diagnosis centers by partnering with players in the health medtech space. We have partnerships with, pharmaceutical organization, Health Federation of Nigeria, looking to ensure we are able to provide solutions that are very, very inclusive, affecting every single vertical in the healthcare space. We know we cannot do this alone. There has to be some collaborative effort between private sector, stakeholders in the private sector, and of course, the government to be able to solve the problem together. Now, as regards your second question about brain drain, well, there's that much we can do about it as a bank, but we believe that if we make sure that the players in the healthcare space do better, where you are able to pay your doctors better, pay your nurses better, because you have better revenues and you're able to run things properly, where through advocacy and adjustment of fiscal policy of the government, you are able to ensure that there is insurance for all, and many more people are going to hospitals, and many more hospitals are being paid well. Doctors just want to be paid a decent wage, so they would not have as much motivation to leave the country.
All right. I want to say thank you so much for being here, helping us to have a great review of this product, and hopefully it reaches that targets that you wanted to.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So far, so good. I've been speaking to Dr. Oluwafemi Olalaye, is the healthcare business, FSDH Merchant Bank, and we've taken a look at the product. It's finally time for innovation in the healthcare sector. You will agree with me that Africa is indeed lagging behind, despite the fact that we do have international collaborations and support financially, in quotes, but we need to do more, and that's exactly what they are set to do.